Hi, my name is Cindy Zhang, and today we're fortunate enough to invite Kelly Duggan from Physical Therapy U. She's a business owner and also a mom of 3 kids. So Kelly,
Hi.
I'm so happy you're here, and we're with our channel is determining the mindset where we empower women to be dreamers that take action. And Kelly is a perfect example. So can you tell me a little bit about yourself, Kelly?
Yeah, so I am a doctor of physical therapy. I've been treating for a little over 8.5 years. I am married. I have 3 little children, and we have a dog. And when I first came out of school, I did a little bit of work in rehab hospitals, and then I switched to outpatient. And a year ago in May, I opened up my own private practice physical therapy clinic in our area. So just been really busy and creating that and keeping up with that and trying to make it successful.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, I can't imagine being a mom and like starting your own business is quite a challenge. So
Yes.
can you tell us more about like how did you start and what were some challenges you went through?
So when I started, it was right after I had my son. So I had my 3rd son. I have my oldest is a girl. She's 4.5. And then I have a 3-year-old boy. And then I have a 21-month-old boy. So when I had my 3rd, we were kind of on the fence. I wasn't sure if I was going to do it or not. I was going back and forth and over like a business plan and trying to find a rental. And I still really wasn't sure what I was going to do when I came home from my maternity leave or finished my maternity leave. But just kind of kept working towards it. So the whole time that I was home with him, just trying to work towards opening a business and growing a business, and would I have a place to rent if I did it, and how will that work out and all of this stuff. So starting off was kind of the hardest, and making that leap and making that jump. But I was able to create the website and create the business plan and get everything done, and we were able to find a rental. So I had my son CJ in January, and then in May 2nd, we opened up our doors at Physical Therapy U, and we started that summer.
Wow, that's really crazy. And I'm sure your husband's very supportive of you and
Thank God.
Yeah. Is he taking more of the house chores and taking care of the kids?
Yeah, I think we both, he has a full-time job as well, and he travels for work. So I think we're both really, really busy. We have a really good support team. So my parents and his parents and everybody else, we have a lot of help on that end. We definitely would not have been able to do that without all of that help. And also when I opened up in April, my dad helped, and actually from January to April, and getting the processes rolling for the rental. My dad helped with the build out and construction of some of the stuff going on in the clinic. And my sister is the office manager. So she started working with me and helping kind of guide me with some things from the very start. So it's all about family for us, and everybody is doing something at all times. It's rare that we're just sitting around and doing nothing. So definitely everybody has done a lot more because of this. Between the whole family. So we're really lucky in that sense that we have that kind of group support.
So it's more like instead of just a normal physical therapy clinic, it's like a family run physical therapy U, right?
Yeah, kind of. For the first pretty much year, it was just me and my sister from May to January, and then we started hiring people when we got busier. So no one else that I've hired is family. If I had family that I could hire for it, I would. We've been hiring physical therapists and stuff, but it's been good.
That's really great. So how, like in the beginning, I really want to hear your advice, because some of us, maybe we have the dream of starting our own business, And how did you how did you like take that leap of faith, and knowing that the first few months you don't have income coming in, or you don't have any patients? So how was that like?
So I had reached out to a bunch of other owners before, even before I had my son, just to figure out, is this something that I want to do? And I specifically looked for moms that had really young kids when they opened their clinics, to talk to them about how much time it would take away from family, and is it worth it in the end? Because obviously when you open a clinic or when you start a practice, or a business, it takes a lot out of you, the entire time you own it and you work it, but also that those first couple of years are really the hardest, and you're constantly working and constantly doing something. So I reached out to other owners to find out, is this something that's feasible for me? Am I going to be able to do it? And started to build a network that way. And from them, just kind of got the motivation and the courage to step out and do it. And then when we did open our doors, in preparation to that, I started doing a lot of marketing. So I do a good amount on social media. We did some paper mailers to the surrounding area, but most of what we did was social media stuff. And in the beginning, in the first couple months, the majority of our patients came from social media. Either someone mentioned us or shared us or said, hey, check this place out. So those first few months, that's where we got the majority of our patients. I think I was in a good area, and I think we got a lot of people saying good stuff about us, so that helped. I had been prepared to either have to work part-time somewhere else while I was doing this, or just for a lot of dead time or dead space where I didn't have patients coming in, and that didn't really happen. So when we opened in May, by June, we were really fully booked.
Wow.
We book on the 45 minutes to an hour. So it's not like we had a ton of patients, but by June we were full, and it was like, oh wow, okay, I'm glad I didn't, have that other job that I was trying to do, because it would have only lasted like a month. But we were lucky in that sense. So it's been good.
Oh, okay. That's really good. Do you have, how many competitors are around your area? Like, are you the only physical therapy clinic there, or is there other competitors?
So in the town, there is one other physical therapy clinic. It's a small clinic like us inside of a gym. But it's on the other side of town. And I wouldn't say it's a competitor, because it is such a big town that we're not really competing for their patients. They're not competing for ours. The town is big enough to absorb all of the clinics. We also see patients kind of in the surrounding area. And it's just kind of what's convenient to people, but there isn't one like right on top of us. It's not like, a big city where you see one every like quarter mile or a half mile or even a mile. We have a pretty big space. So we're also pretty lucky in that sense, location wise. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's good advice, because for myself, I live in a big city, and we have a clinic basically, like you said, every few miles there's a physical therapy clinic. But I definitely like what you said, because we're not in a competition. There's so much people that needs help, and we're just helping one person at a time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think what they say, and one of the things that I've heard from a few other physical therapists, is that, there's such a small percentage right now of patients that go to physical therapy, that why are you chasing after that small bubble of people that already know about us? You should really be promoting yourself to people that don't know what physical therapists do. So that's one of the other things. Like, I'm not going to go after the people that already know about me, because if they're looking for good service, they'll find me. I want to promote myself to people that don't know what a physical therapist does, so they can say, oh, wow, I didn't know you could do that. Let me check you out. Because that percentage is so much bigger than the small percentage that already knows about us. So you don't really, and you can't go into it thinking, I'm going to compete with all these other PTs. Like, we're all fighting for the same people. No, like, there's so many people that you really can't get competitive with the other therapists that are around. It's more about just letting other people know about you.
Wow, that's good. So like you said, you're basically doing a non-traditional way of getting patients. So in the beginning, you were doing social media, and then you're not really going for the doctor's referral. So how, like, was it hard in the beginning because you have to learn really how social media really runs, and
Yeah.
even though we
Yeah.
do use like Facebook, but we don't know how to do a lot of those things. So
Yeah.
how was it like?
I think I was doing a lot of like Googling stuff.
Uh-huh.
Say, when's the best time to post something and what's good to post? And for me, I don't like getting in front of the camera. I don't like that whole aspect of things. So I kept hearing from people, you got to do the Facebook Lives and you got to do the videos. And I'm getting into it a little bit more at this point, but it's still like a stretch for me. I don't like to sit there and look into the camera and assume everybody's paying attention to me. So we do a lot of like little posts and like little funny things here that someone, you're going to get good content if you follow our pages, but you're also going to kind of get a good laugh. And that's what I would want to see if I was following a place, is I like to be amused. I think, that's what I'm on social media for. It's not to like, if I want to read about research, I'm going to get an article and do that. I'm not going to look on Facebook for it. So we just try and keep it really light. And certainly I knew a little bit about Instagram, not really a lot. So that was all kind of new. I wasn't on Twitter at all. That's all brand new. Snapchat, I didn't even know what it was. And we have a Snapchat. We don't do much with it. I don't even once a month I'm like, oh yeah, we have Snapchat. We should do a quick video, cause it's such a weird, thing. It's not weird for like the younger kids, but for me and for the therapists that I work with, it's like we don't even know what we're doing. But
Yeah,
we do have all those social media. Hopefully they help. I don't know how yet to track what we're getting from what, but we're out there and we're doing it and just trying to make a name for our clinic and ourselves. So
that's
it's been good.
Yeah, I really like listening to your story, because it's just something that is so different, and now everybody's on social media, so you're definitely hitting the right amount of people that is like interested in therapy and learning about what therapy really is.
Mm-hmm.
So so right now, since you're a business owner, maintaining your own practice, and a clinician and a mom, how do you balance your time?
Yeah, I don't know. You get that question a lot. I don't think I have a good balance on it, to be honest. I think it's not something that I'll ever feel like, oh yeah, this is a good balance, like work-life balance. It's really hard for me. And that's one of the number one things I struggle with, is like being okay with being at work and being okay with like being at a business meeting in the middle of the day. That's hard for me, because you do see, especially when you're outside of the clinic at some sort of business meeting or networking thing, and you see other parents, whether it's a dad or a mom, with their kids in the middle of the day, and you're like, oh my God, like that could be me, and I'm here at this business meeting. And it's definitely an inward struggle that I have all the time. But I think like I said, I have a really good network of mom bosses that I know and that I'm familiar with. And so if I'm ever kind of freaking out and getting, unsettled by it, they kind of put me back in place and like, no, this is what you're meant to be doing. This is good. And, it's better for your kids. They'll see this part of you. But I think, trying to just stay involved. My kids are really little, so I'm lucky in the sense that I was able to open the clinic when they were this little. So for the most part, they're in bed by 8:00. Occasionally they're not. So that leaves from 8:00 on until I decide to go to bed to do work. So that's helpful for me. I think parents, kids are a little bit older, it can be a little more difficult because they have after school activities and you're driving them here, you're driving them there. My kids don't have that right now. We pick them up from daycare or get them from my parents. And, then it's dinner time and bath time and all that stuff. But, so I think, the fact that my kids are so young, that's helpful, that I can work these crazy hours right now. I think as they get a little bit older, hopefully my business will be at the point where I can cut some hours back a little bit and be there to drive them. But that work-life balance, I don't have a balance. I'm all over the place, like a top, like spinning. I have no idea, but I'm working on it. And I'm asking, other parents like advice for it. And it's getting there, but yeah, I can't say I have work-life balance, so I can't tell you how I got it.
I think even if you don't know you have it, but at least you're doing all of this and still being able to live out your dream,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I still think you're like incredible, because being a woman is so difficult, and we're
Yeah. Yeah.
constantly like just being pulled in different directions.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's why. I mean, it's. I know it's early your time, but it's 9 o'clock my time because the kids are in bed. And I have this podcast that I'm trying to do as well. And it's like whenever I'm booking with people, I'm like, I can either do from 11 to 12 in the middle of the day, or I can do after 9 o'clock. And they're like, what? I'm like, I can't do it like in those other times, because when I'm home, I don't want to be trying to sit on the computer and have a conversation with someone, because that's not going to work with 3 little kids running around. So it's finding what works for you and what works for your family or your life situation, whether that's, if you're single and you have some time, or maybe you're super, super active, so certain hours don't work for you. It's just figuring out what's going to work best for you.
Definitely. So tell us a little bit about your new podcast, because what is it about, and so people can kind of join you?
Yeah. Mel, I would love some additional subscribers. So the podcast is called the Health and Fitness Connector Podcast. And it's based on, probably people that are around you wouldn't want to listen to it, but it's based on the South Shore of Massachusetts and the southeastern area of Massachusetts. What I'm trying to do is create a resource for not only my patients, but my community, so that they can have a podcast that they can check out that talks, each week I'm interviewing a different company that has to do with health or fitness in our direct area. So an acupuncturist, a yoga therapist, a gym owner, a personal trainer, chiro, whatever it is, just to talk about what services they offer, how people can find out more, how they can get involved. And that way people can casually listen, because it's a lot less time consuming than trying to do like a long Google search and look at all the different karate dojos in their area and trying to decide which one. Well, they can go to this podcast, listen to the 3 that are in their direct area, and then just decide, you know what, I like the way that lady sounded, or I like that guy's values, and then pursue them further. So I'm trying to create a little resource in that sense. I think it's good for the community, and then it's also good for me, because I'm finding out more about these companies, so that when I'm wrapping up with my patients, I can kind of guide them towards the best fit from what, at least my standpoint of where I think they might fit in, for their exercise program or their wellness journey or whatever it might be.
Well, that's a really, really good idea. I haven't been to Bridgewater, Massachusetts, but I can imagine it's probably hard to find like where you are, because it's all spread out, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's finding out, well, where do I want to go? What's close to me in this whole area of Massachusetts? What are my options? And, you want to go to a company that has values similar to your values. So this will allow you to figure out, well, yeah, they have a really cool website, but what's that person like before you walk in the door? Because it can be a little bit intimidating once you walk into a place. You're like, oh man, now I'm kind of stuck here and I can't really leave without signing up. And this is like a very casual way of hearing more about the place and figuring out the real values of a place before you're actually in the door.
Yep. It's like the podcast of Yelp, like the Yelp.
Yeah.
It's really
exactly. Yeah. And it's very specific to our area. So
okay.
I'm excited as a clinician. I was kind of excited to do it because I'm going to find out all these things. Hopefully people will use it. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but I think either way, I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to find out more myself. So.
Yeah. So, as a physical therapist, it's our mission to stay healthy and stay strong. So how are you living up with those criteria?
Yeah, I knew you were going to ask me that question, and I think that I don't have any time. I have no time. Every minute is full. So I don't go to the gym right now. I work at a facility where we have all this equipment. Do I use it? No. Did I have all intentions of using it when I first opened? Absolutely. I was like, oh yeah, if I get a cancel, I'll hop on the treadmill for a half hour. That doesn't happen because I have a million other things to do. But I think right now in my life, how I stay in shape is chasing after the kids, and being active that way. You know, I can't lie and say I have this awesome like health regimen right now, because I don't. I eat when I can eat, and I, you know, get some exercise when I can, but it's not often. You know, I definitely want to do more. I think as my kids get a little bit older, we'll have a little bit more of that time to do that. But right now, I mean, you know, as a physical therapist, I mean, I'm sweating all day at work. I'm stretching people. I've got someone's leg on my shoulder. You know, I'm moving someone's arm. So I'm exercising in that sense, that I have a really active job. You know, I tell everyone I'm really good at 2 repetitions of everything, but don't ask me to do more than that, because then I fall apart. But yeah, I mean, that's how I'm doing it right now. Previously, I was always active. I was always in the gym, but I think since I had kids, and I think that's true kind of for a lot of people, is then you start to put other people first. And then I just kept having kids, so I just kept putting them first. And so now I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't gone to the gym in like 4 years. What happened? But I'm working on it. Again, it's another work in progress.
Yeah, definitely. It's constant like learning and redoing and rechanging things. So I think you're on the right track. At least you have that mindset. So just it's actually just putting in the work when you have time. Yeah. So
someday I'll have time.
Yeah, definitely. So how, since this channel, we want to empower women. So is there any advice that probably as a business owner and for just advice in general for women out there to that they want to live up their dream? What are some action steps you can teach them?
Yeah, I think some action steps. Well, first thing, find a good network. Find other people that are in a position that you want to be in and reach out to them. Not everyone's going to get back to you, and that's fine. But if you reach out to 10 people and 2 people get back to you, that's 2 more than you started with. So find people in a position that you want to be in and talk to them. It doesn't have to be a woman, but absolutely it's going to help you to reach out to women. I think getting involved, if you are on social media, finding these social media groups, because there are groups like Women in Physical Therapy, and all these different groups that people are starting right now to help empower women and kind of give us confidence and a little social media boost. I think definitely reaching out, just expanding your network as much as you can, and then finding that core group of people like, okay, this is my solid 5, where if I've got something that I have a question or I'm stressing or I need some help, these are your key people to reach out to. But, you know, just don't, you can do it alone. You absolutely can, but why would you, you know? So just reach out, find that network, and send 20 emails. And if, like I said, if you get a few back, that's awesome. Don't expect to get them all back, but reach out and, you know, ask for advice from the people that are doing it.
That's awesome advice. Yeah, like definitely, like doing it by yourself is so scary, and there's tons of things you probably don't know how to do. And seeking the support and seeking the community, it's an awesome network, and that's how I found you, Kelly. I'm so happy. So and I'm so happy to have talked to you today, and you have given us such good advice. Is there any last minute things that you want to tell us? And also, I forgot to add, how do we find you?
Okay, so I guess last minute advice, I think that if this is something, or starting a business, or maybe going after a supervisory role, anything like that is something that interests you, I think go for it now, because there's no point in waiting. I wish that I had done this earlier, but I just didn't. I didn't have that catalyst of like, oh, you know what, this is the time that if I don't do it now, like I wish I had done this earlier in my career. So I think if you're kind of on the fence, just go for it, because there's no better time than now. If you're waiting for like the perfect time to do something, it ain't gonna happen. Just go after it. That's kind of like my key advice is like, if you're thinking about it, go for it. Start sending those emails, making those connections now, and just kind of plow through and go for it, I would say. And how can you find me? So like I was saying, like I keep saying we because like we as a business, but I'm on all social media. So it's Kelly Duggan, Duggan. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook as the clinic. So that's at PTU Clinic. So physical therapy U. So PTU Clinic. That's on Insta, Snapchat, Facebook, and Twitter. So I'm on everything that I know about. I'm sure there's other stuff out there. I don't really know. Trying to keep up with it. But,
yeah.
you know.
And I want to add that your YouTube video of
my
clinic is so awesome. I love it.
Thanks.
I watched it. I was like, oh my God, I wish I could do this for mine, but maybe later time.
Yeah. So we're on YouTube too, and occasionally we'll post videos, but we thought that would be like a funny way to do the tour of the clinic. But yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you, Kelly, and I'm so glad that we've talked, and thank you for coming in, and thank you for all the listeners out there. My name is Cindy Zhang, and this is sponsored by Cozy Physical Therapy. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.